It's Blake here with Trade Tracer. Make sure you go ahead and click that link in the description to get access to our webinar on Tuesday that I will be hosting with TrendSpider. Also, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. As always, none of this is financial advice. Make sure that you always invest at your own risk. So let's go ahead and get into it. We have the SPY pulled up here on a daily time frame, and we are in a 10-day uptrend on the S&P 500 and on the QQQ. We went into uptrend on this candle here when we broke above the 10 SMA. You can see we had some resistance with this 50-day moving average. This was the news that Trump had coronavirus. Quickly recovered from that, and 3 very strong days pushing higher. So on the weekly and the monthly time frames, let's first take a look at this, because the monthly time frame is you can get a bigger picture of what's actually happening, what actually is going on. And you can see this looks very strong from a monthly time frame. So if I am an investor, which I am, still looks very bullish to me, and I'm still very bullish heading into the end of the year. Also on the weekly time frame, we did actually close back above that 10 period moving average on the weekly time frame, and the MACD is flat, hasn't crossed over, so that's also a very positive sign. So from the weekly time frame, technically we are in no trend, but also holding above the previous all-time highs back put in February. Now, if we go ahead and look at the NASDAQ, the Qs, this is technology. You can see we actually did get that bear cross on the MACD, but you can see it's nicely recovering here and trying to move higher here on the weekly. And if we go ahead and take a look at the monthly time frame, looks phenomenal, looks even better than the S&P. Okay, so that's why I'm really focused on tech, is because it has, over the long term, has been much stronger than the S&P, than the Dow, than the IWM. And so that's why we're still invested in tech in the investment portfolio. Yes, lately it has been a bit of a laggard, but if we look at the daily time frame, you can see we have a very strong bullish candle that we put it in on Friday and actually outperformed the S&P on Friday, which is a positive signal. You guys know that I like to see tech lead. I like to see the big caps lead, your Apple, your Amazon, your Facebook, your Googles, your Netflix, all those names, Tesla. And the reason that I like that is because for me, it's a bigger gauge or a better gauge as to the health of the market. And when those names lead, typically it's a very powerful and strong signal to lift the market. So that's what we saw Friday, and it was a very positive sign. And I am expecting next week that we close even higher than where we are right now. Okay, so this past week was the week before OPEX. You guys know the week before OPEX, we get a lot of volatility. That's exactly what we saw, tons of volatility the week before OPEX. And oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes we see pivotal lows the week before OPEX. And it just so happens that we did see this pivotal low. If we zoom in here, this was this pivotal low that we put in on October 6th. Broke through the 50, came and tested the 10, and then just ripped higher. Okay, so heading into next week, I think that's a very positive setup, a very positive signal. And personally, I do believe that we go higher next week. I'm not predicting that, but I am definitely positioned for that, and I do believe the odds are favoring higher next week. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the bonds, I think, this is just dead money, if you ask me. This has gone nowhere since pretty much March. Okay, so just choppy sideways action. Not where you really want to have your money, if you ask me. But if you need the the dividends, if you need the cash flow, you got to do what you got to do. I don't like bonds at the moment. Gold is actually ticking up. All right, so gold still has this 50-day moving average as resistance above. However, we did see what I classify as price strength confirmation on Friday. And price strength confirmation is just when we get into an uptrend. I want to make this clear. So when we go into uptrend, price strength confirmation is when prices close above a previous high within that uptrend. Okay, so this was a previous high within this uptrend, and we actually did close above that on Friday, signifying price strength confirmation with a fresh MACD bullish crossover and the 10 SMA slope rising. Okay, so this is a very positive setup here on gold. Silver as well has a very similar setup. We may get back into these in the investment portfolio. We're just going to have to play it by ear. But I really like the way tech is setting up, so it's going to be difficult for me to go ahead and add any metals in the investment portfolio because I really do like the way that a lot of these tech names are setting up. You guys know that we are invested in the IBB. This is the biotech sector. You guys know I absolutely love this sector for the long term. And here is why. If we pull up the weekly and monthly time frame, so this is the monthly here, you can see the previous all-time high was in July of 2015 at 133.6. Okay, so above that level, that's a very significant level, and above that is a very strong breakout. And you can see if we zoom in here, let me move this down so you guys can see. This is that 133.6 level on the monthly time frame, broke above it, and you can see we've kind of chopped around and stayed above this very key important level. You can see so far this month we came back tested that and have pushed much higher off of that on the monthly time frame. So on the monthly and the weekly, biotechs are set up very well. You can see the MACD is starting to curl. We have uptrend on the weekly and price strength confirmation above this candle's high on the weekly, which is why we are so heavily invested in biotech. All right, so you guys know I like to personally put a little extra juice on my trades. So we are in BIB. This is a double leveraged IBB sector. So this is our primary holding actually right now. We're split up into a few different segments, but this is our largest holding in the investment portfolio, and I believe for good reason. I think for long term, this is a phenomenal play and a phenomenal setup. Do have some options on this as well, so we're going to be playing that moving forward. So I talked about technology. All right, this is one of the key names, as you guys know, that we need to be watching is Apple. Apple is one of those names that leads the market, and the market goes as Apple goes, typically. All right, so Apple has an event risk, what I classify as event risk next week. Excuse me, I believe they're releasing their iPhone 12. Okay, I was expecting some more hype, I guess, a little bit more, you know, a little more, a bit of enthusiasm running into this event, but we just kind of hung out where this 0.38 Fibonacci retracement was. So from the highs back to the pivotal lows that we put in September, this 0.38 seems to be a key level, but we did close above that on Friday. Personally, I'm looking for a move up to this Fibonacci, which is the 618, around the 125 level. Okay, so I'm going to be looking for, you know, some type of move up to here on Apple next week, week after. I think it definitely probably gets there, especially since we are still in a 10-day uptrend on the market. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on Apple. Could potentially take it for a trade next week, but I do want to wait to see what comes of that Apple iPhone release. Now, you guys know Amazon as well is one of those names also that I'm watching. Had price strength confirmation above the 3,224 level, so above this level right here. Let me go ahead and highlight this for you. Above this level right here, above the 50-day moving average. This level right here was a very key level, and you can see once we pushed above that, and we did move above this 50-day moving average, we had a lot of strength going into Friday. So Friday was a very strong day for tech. It was definitely what we wanted to see. So Apple and Amazon are going to be on our watch list for next week. And you guys also know Tesla. Okay, so Tesla is one of those names that when it gets momentum, it really likes to move quickly. Okay, so we're going to be keeping a very close eye on Tesla here. We're kind of in this WV pattern. I'll go ahead and draw this out for you. So here's my W, and please forgive these arrows. I'm not going to change it for you because it'd just be too much time here. But here's a part of a W, and from here to here. So there's your W, and then this is a little mini V. So this is a very powerful setup. If you ask me, this is one of my favorite setups to trade, is a WV pattern. And I know these arrows look pretty crazy right now, but if we break above this downtrend line, we could see a move back up to the highs, back up to that 500 level. Okay, so really keeping a close eye on Tesla, and we're going to have to keep a close eye on that moving forward. But Tesla is one of those names, as you guys know, when it gets some momentum, it can move. The key thing that I'm watching is this MACD cross. Okay, it looked like we wanted to cross here. It was a fake out. You can see sold off. Looked like we wanted to cross here. Again, fake out, kind of move sideways. Let's see if we can get this MACD cross. And if we do, you can guarantee I will be taking Tesla for a swing long position. Depending on when that swing long happens, I will be looking, 6 to 8 weeks out, looking at in the money calls. I think those would definitely pay nicely provided the market can hold up and we move higher. A couple of the names that I'm in currently is Alibaba. Alibaba is breaking out to new all-time highs above this 299 level. Okay, so above 299, this thing it really has no overhead resistance above this 299. Okay, so I really like Alibaba. That's why I've stuck with it. I've stayed with it. We're up slightly on the options. Didn't get the fast movement that I was pretty much expecting, but it hasn't done anything wrong yet, and we're still in an uptrend and we're still holding above key levels. So as long as that holds true, I'm going to continue to hold Alibaba. I would like to see some movement Monday and Tuesday, and if we don't get some nice movement Monday and Tuesday, we could be being vulnerable for this coming back to test this 10 MA, which I really wouldn't want to do because that's essentially 10 points from here. So definitely going to be keeping a close eye on Alibaba. Let's see, what else do we have here? Couple of names that we've had recently. Okta seems to be acting fine, is still basing above the breakout level. PCTY was an absolute monster play for us. Could have definitely held this name a little longer. I wound up getting it out when we had some of these, choppy red candles in here, and after that just completely erupted. Wound up getting in above this 156 level, scaled out around the 163, 164 level. No big deal, was still a great trade, but absolutely could have been a much better trade. But hey, everybody's got to trade their own risk profile. CRM is a name that was on our watch list last week. This very, very strong setup. We do have a fresh MACD bullish crossover, and this name was one of the names that was leading. And overall, a lot of the software names have been very strong. Now, Workhorse also is one of the names that we're going to be watching again this week. Had a very strong close on Friday. I would like to see this MACD keep curling, and if we can get some price strength confirmation above Friday's high, which was, 27.11, that could definitely be setting up on our trade list as well. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that also. So one more thing that I want to touch on is the semiconductors. Also, this is one of our biggest holdings in the investment portfolio, and also for very good reason. If we go ahead and look at the higher time frames, the monthly, just absolutely parabolic. Definitely want to be in stocks that are moving higher fast. And also on the weekly, okay, came back, tested this 10 MA, and now on the weekly time frame, we actually closed above all-time highs. And then if we pull it up on the daily, you can see that more clearly. Absolutely just crushing it. So we are heavily invested in semiconductors, biotech, and tech. So if you're not in our premium members group, that's what the investment portfolio is allocated towards. As you guys know, I am a former financial advisor, and one of the reasons that I got into this was because I wanted to help people manage their money more effectively. And this is one of the ways that we do this is by using the investment portfolio and the investment account, and me being 100% transparent with all of my trades and all of my investments. So far, the investment portfolio is up over 111% since I launched the service back in, November. So yeah, we're doing absolutely phenomenal on that. If you are interested in learning any more about that, just go ahead and click the links in the description. I'm going to be linking those in there. So just to wrap up, all right, we're in a 10-day uptrend. This is the S&P. We're in a 10-day uptrend. We are entering OPEX week. Okay, so this week is OPEX, meaning monthly option expirations, which oftentimes, the week before OPEX, like I said, we put in these pivotal lows heading into the week. Now, we definitely need to be keeping an open mind. We do have a couple gaps, right, from the previous trading days that, potentially could get filled. So always keep an open mind, but always ride the trend as well. When we're in uptrend, the best thing that you can do is not micromanage your trades. It's to get long early in the trend and to hold your trade as long as the trade is working in your favor and you're not seeing any signals to indicate that you're on the wrong side of the trade. So right now we are long, we are staying long, we are managing risk, we are expecting higher prices, we are invested in the highest and best momentum sectors that we can. Like I said, the semiconductors, the IBB, and also tech. And we're going to be watching very closely this week some of the main names like Apple and Amazon to get a better gauge of the strength of the market. So that's all that I have for you guys today. We have a couple webinars coming up this month. Like I said, Tuesday, I will be hosting a webinar with Jake from TrendSpider. We're going to be talking about their platform, talking about how I personally utilize their platform to get in trading edge, some of the tools that they have, which are really awesome. And then on the 18th, I'm going to be doing a webinar with Xavier from Juicy Trades, and going to be talking about the trader's mindset. So make sure you guys go ahead and click the links in the description. I'm going to be linking the webinar for Tuesday, so make sure you sign up for that. I'll see you guys soon.